Mike's Daily Podcast.
Let's see, I got everything I need. I got the microphone. I got my pen. I got my little piece of paper where I wrote things.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Now I can do my podcast. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. It's that thing I'm going to need. Cause this is pumping. It's a beat. It's really sweet. It's called A Beat for Mike's Daily Podcast. The show. This is my theme song. Yay. Sweet. I'm going to video
Mike's Daily Podcast.
a part of the show for you too, because apparently that's the thing you've got to do these days.
Mike's
Is put yourself on video.
Daily
I'm avidly
Podcast.
against doing this, but
Yeah!
they say you should do that. So let's see. I should just videotape my foot for this. We'll do that. Hey everybody, see my foot at mikesdailypodcast.com. Or actually on YouTube, youtube.com/mikesdailypodcast, something like that. Yes. Okay. So, here we are at Mike's Daily Podcast land. I'm videotaping now. Can you tell my voice changed slightly? I want to tell you all about something you should not ever do, and that is download the Turo app. Oh, downloading the Turo app is a great idea because you can rent a car and it's pretty cheap. And if you don't have a credit card, that's awesome. But here's what happens. You cannot start your car, your Turo car, unless you have the app. So if you are going to be in an area, let's say up in the mountains, which we're going to get to that part of the show with the Mike's Daily Podcast picture in just a second, but the podcast picture has to do with someplace up in the wilderness. And if you are up there and you cannot access the internet and thus your app can't work, then you can't get into your car, you can't start your car, you're stuck. That's not good, Turo. That's not good.
And here's today's podcast picture.
All right, I think I'm done videotaping. Okay. And I'll upload that in a minute. The podcast picture today is of this wonderful area in the, what do you call it? McCloud River is what it is. McCloud River. My lovely lady friend was there. She was visiting the lower falls of the McCloud River. McCloud is this cool little town, kind of a northern exposure-esque type place. Beautiful area. So see that picture now at mikesdailypodcast.com. So nice. And Basil and I were not there. We're hanging out here in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And Cafe Anyway. That's right, Basil. Cafe Anyway. The last place on earth. So yeah, how do you rent out cars when that is the case? And my lovely lady friend called the owner up and said, hey, this is what's happening. And he goes, oh, that's never happened before. Well, probably because your car's never gone past the city limits before. Hey, everybody that works from home, which is most of you now. Have you got this thing happening where people are CCing you all the time? I get randomly CC'd on things that I don't need to see these emails. I do not need to CC these emails. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Why am I CCing this? Because you're CCing me or BCCing. What is that? That's be annoying. Is that what that is? Other interesting things that I have noticed of late are people that text briefly. They cannot manage to muster more than a few words when they text. It's either emoji. No, they can't even muster emoji. They just go, basically try to pound out a word, or they give me the capital letters, the 3 capital letters that I'm supposed to know what they mean. L-O what? F something? I don't know. Cafe, I don't know. Cafe anyway. There's a thing called speech to text on your phone. Use it. It's an amazing piece of technology. Once upon a time, You would speak into it was a dictaphone? Was that what it was called? You dictate to someone, and then that poor person would have to write it all out. I think it was usually a woman getting paid way less than a man, because that's how completely wonderful our times were. The good old days, as we call them. Yeah, good for white guys. That's what the good old days were about. Yes, if you were a man, you'd come home, smoke your pipe, have a steak dinner, and then die of esophagus cancer later on. That's what a lot of the guys died of from that era, from the 70s, 60s, 70s. They're eating too much steak, drinking too much. Oh, raise your hand if your parents or your grandparents were alcoholics. Everybody was an alcoholic. Gosh. I heard an interesting story the other day. This is what's fun with talking to your mom. In fact, I got to call her. I didn't know this about my dad. Well, I knew he drank. And I knew his father, my grandfather, drank. But wow. So he went to AA, but he kept in his jacket, yes, a little, what was it? One of those things that you put the alcohol in, the little shot. What do they call those? It's not a brandy sifter. It's a shot drink pouch deal in your pocket. Yeah, he brought that to the AA meetings. Grandpa didn't last too long. Just letting you know. You know what got him? One of the things that got him was diabetes, because alcohol turns to sugar in your system, and he liked to eat pies, and he'd eat a whole pie. Yes, my grandfather. No, but I'll tell you, I do the plugs and then I do the slugs. So I reversed that. I did a slug to my grandfather. Sorry, grandfather. Here's a plug about my grandfather. He had an amazing way of connecting with people. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast. Somewhere in Podcastro Valley, he could connect with someone, like he could meet someone and instantly that person would feel like my grandfather was their best friend. I didn't witness this. He passed away when I was much too young. I didn't really get to know him, but he had that ability, and I find that impressive. Now, my mother, this was my mom's stepfather. So father-in-law. Sarah, there we go. What's it? Father-in-law. But my mom, not related directly to my grandfather, she has that ability on the other side of the family. Very warm and can connect with people. So I don't know. Do I have a little bit of that? Maybe. But if I don't, you know what you could jump off of, into, out of it. No. See, I can't do it. Hey, was this a good quarter for you? I just realized that the quarter just ended. That's how good a manager I am. Something about June, the end of June, early July, does not seem to me that we're entering a new quarter, but it is. Into the summertime. End of March definitely feels to me like the end of a quarter, but the end of June, it seems like we're moving along into summer, and there's so many things happening. And let's be honest, June feels like March. We just gone back in time. I mean, we thought we could go outside again, but no, we got to wear masks. Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody. And everybody's telling you to wear a mask. Even our vice president. He is urging Americans to wear masks to stop the spread of COVID-19. The U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Jerome Adams, he is got a thing up on C-SPAN now about methods of prevention, stressing the need to wear masks, cloth face coverings, wearing cloth masks, face coverings in public settings, says the Center for Disease Control, and social distancing. Please do that this weekend. I know you might go see family. Back the heck up. You don't know. I mean, you might know where they've been, but this is the weird thing about this virus is it can remain completely, show no symptoms whatsoever. No symptoms, and you don't know, and it's getting passed along. And then someone who can't get it, shouldn't get it. When they get it, they die. They get it because of you. So that's why we wear the masks. That's why we put up with it. That's why when we wear the mask, we go, ooh, gosh, that's my breath? What? That's the funniest thing I've heard. Jon Stewart said that to Steve Carell on Steve Carell's show, which, by the way, Stephen Colbert. Steve Carell is in Jon Stewart's new movie. But Stephen Colbert and John were talking. Of course, John hired Stephen Colbert to be on The Daily Show way back when. And then that later got Stephen Colbert to do the Colbert Report. But Jon Stewart said to, and you know, he's at home, Jon Stewart, gray as can be. I love it. He's so gray. But he's still got that young face. And he's talking all about how, he goes, I had to put a mask on because I had to go out. And I thought to myself, I need to apologize to my family. Now I get it, family, why when I walk into a room, you all leave. My breath. What's going on? Yes. All the breath makers and Mentoses and Tic Tacs and all the Bianca. Is it Bianca? Banaka? No, it's Bianca, the mouse from The Rescuers. Oh. No. So we're thinking more about our breath lately, and that's good. See, there's all this good coming out of this. I wish it never happened, but gosh. All of this, all the benefits of COVID. Yeah. Trump says he's more and more angry at China. And he said last week he was talking about how he is not going to cut the budget when it comes to the military. He goes, I don't want to be that president. I don't want to be that guy that when somebody's invading America and walking up to the White House, I don't want to be the president that his budget was, he kept the budget short, but the military couldn't stop an invasion. Believe it or not, Trump said it much more funny, in a funnier way. But the fake contact tracing part of rapidly involving coronavirus fraud is what the Department of Justice from the U.S. is, and the Department of Health and Human Services is warning about fake contact tracing and contact tracing scams. Because people are trying to cash in on it. And everybody wants to do it. I mean, we've heard of other countries that are successful at it, but there are people that, yeah, we'll do the contact tracing and doing nothing. Just cash in the check. Annoying. Just like the CCing is annoying. The Seattle police have cleared the CHOP zone. It's now cleared. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone is being cleared. Or the Capitol Hill Occupied Protest, also known as Free Capitol Hill in Seattle. It is being cleared. More than 30 people getting arrested. An executive order. Interesting that they did it, but is that what happened with Occupy Wall Street a couple of years back? Was there such a clearing going on? I remember in San Francisco, down by the Embarcadero, a big occupied area. Right there, right near the bay and the ferry building. Lauren Boebert, or is it Boebert, like Stephen Colbert? She is now going to take over the U.S. House Republican District 3 for Colorado, the 3rd Congressional District, kicking out Scott Tipton, also a Republican. And it looks like it was just a matter of like 10,000 votes. So she got 54% of the vote, and Scott got 45%. Why is this a big deal? Well, it's not really, but it popped up in my news feed. But she is more aligned with Donald Trump. She's a gun rights activist. She owns Shooter's Grill in Colorado. What town in Colorado? Rifle, of course. Where else would it be? She's active in her church and has spent years counseling at-risk women at the local jail. Her husband, Jason, is an oil worker, and they have 4 sons. This kind of sounds like Sarah Palin, only she had daughters, didn't she? But, okay, Lauren Boebert. Interesting. Is this the start of something? Is this someone that will end up running for president someday? Maybe that's why the media cares about it. And maybe that's why this is the end of the show. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. But look who's here. Hi, Mac. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How you doing?
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
I think Rifle, Colorado is the best place ever on the planet Earth.
Awesome. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mac. I make the delicious root beer halftime right now, or I'll cut you. Oh, boy.
That's not very nice.
I didn't really mean it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Toda.
Turo sucks. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Turo. Get the heck out of here, Turo. We see you for what you are. Thanks for the root beer, Brewmaster.
Yeah, don't mention it. Oh, boy.
He likes to say, oh boy. You sound a little like the guy that does the Bears voice on the Cleveland show, which Cleveland now will be voiced by an African-American actor, no longer a white Caucasian actor.
Okay, that's good to know. Oh, boy.
Thank you. That's the end of the show. Next show, the people I mentioned. If you'd like to chime in about any of the stuff we covered today, you can call me 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast tries to be. I will be on KKDV. You can hear me on kkdv.com this Sunday from 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But then I will no longer be on it for quite a while, so check out this website here, and here's Ariel to tell you more about that.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!